What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux. All right, so we have Vila. She is out, and honestly, she is a little crazy with what she can do. Like, I knew we had the kit, but the value of a lot of her stuff is really good. And so let's go ahead and look at her kit, right? So we know that she is a buffer healer. She does not do any damage. So that is pretty much true. She centers her kit around wanting to get her Rusalka state, which is what she gets from her ult. And with that, she's able to buff more and heal. So I'm not going to spend all day on this video, but I will give you guys the information that I know. Okay. So the buff is one of the craziest things because the buff gives 20% crit rate and crit damage, right? And it's a buff that is unique to her. So it's a named buff, and that goes for everybody. For mental damage characters, they get an additional 10% crit rate and 20% crit damage. So reality characters get 20% crit rate, 20% crit damage. Mental gets 30% crit rate and 40% crit damage, which is huge. It does not go up as you increase the buff. What actually happens is you'll get more extra damage from having the Rusalka buff and different things like that, right? But it doesn't improve the crit rate from it, right? The heal is actually pretty good, and it goes off of the person being healed's attack, right? So her attack stat actually doesn't really matter as much for the healing. It's healing based off of the attack of the person you're being healed, which allows it to have a decent healing amount, and she heals quite a bit with the passive. And then her Psych Cube, whenever she uses a single target buff, it also adds some healing based off of attack as well. So it's a lot of passive healing that she has going on, but it's really the buff, right? It's really good, and honestly, the amount of crit rate, it allows certain characters to become crit characters, right? The Rusalka state. So a lot of people are worried about her Mach generation because they're like, the ult, like you can't get. So what it is that you can't use the ult when you're in Rusalka state. You can still get Moxie, right? So you still gain Moxie, and when you're in this state, you get an extra card that pops up that can give Moxie and Eureka. So you are able to give a total of 3 Moxie, 3 Eureka, because you'll have it for 3 turns, right? And with using all of her cards, it's not that hard to get to it, right? So it's a pretty nice rotation of a kit. People who are asking about portraits, the crit rate, the base crit rate that she has goes up at level 1 to 30% crit rate, 30% crit damage at P1. That's for everybody. And then at P3, it goes to 40%. P2 and P4 help out the extra damage that she gives out, the additional damage on a Rusalka state. And P5 gives her Rusalka state for 4 rounds. So if anything, I would say P3 is the stop, because that's 40% crit rate, crit damage for everybody, right? But P0 is, fine. But I know you guys are going to ask me about portraits, so P3 is a stop, right? Character that wants to be Insight 3, I would say when it comes to Resonance, I haven't completely gotten it all worked out because I only have her at R9, but we're looking at a healer that wants to have defenses and health and everything over that to survive more. Like, so damage reduction, any defense that you can put on, crit defense, like healing. That way you can pretty much put her anywhere, because you're not worried about upping any crit stats or anything like that. But if you up her defense and stuff enough, you could pretty much put her everywhere, which I'm probably going to start doing, honestly. So let's go ahead and kind of show her in some content. All right, so let's go ahead and put Vila in some content, right? So having Marcus is just the character that she fits really well with. In this patch, there are other characters that she can work with, of course, being anyone who's mental damage, Black Dwarf, Melania. You could even say 37, though 37 is a little weird to me. I think she's the one character that doesn't really fit, because 37 is not really a hyper carry, and she already has high crit rate, crit damage. But you could put 37 with her as well. And then there's Charlie, other characters, right? And then we're going to put August here because August is a new character. We're going to put August all the way in the back that everyone on the left side gets the extra damage dealt buff, right? Because if we were to put everybody here, then everyone will get damage reduction. So we don't want that. We're going to put everybody here. We're going to put Druvis here just so we can have a full plant team. It's going to be a lot of passive healing. And we can give her, since we don't have a lot of debuffs, we're going to go ahead and give her Psy Cube. So it's going to be a lot of healing going on to where we don't really have to use the heal card from our girl too much, right? Just go ahead and get into this. Now, August is really weird because it doesn't show a buff indicator on the bar for everybody from what I remember. And this is from the, I think this is from the event itself. Yeah, this is from the event itself. This isn't August, so it doesn't show about having a buff. So pretty much you have this buff card here. You can go ahead and buff up Marcus. My Marcus is P1, so I have 2 level 2 cards. And I'm going to do an attack with August so I can get the extra damage dealt as well. And then we'll do 2 attacks. And so my Marcus doesn't have a crazy amount of crit, but now she has 30% crit rate and extra crit damage. So she's going to be able to crit.
No mistakes. It hurts.
And you can see I have this extra damage dealt buff, and I get that every time I attack with August. So really nice. And let's see, we can go ahead and get another attack off. We can do some cure with August so we can kind of show August a little bit.
My hands on the drums.
And we'll go ahead and reset his buff. So everybody has cure. So it's a lot of passive healing, like I said. Like, it's kind of crazy how much healing is going on here. Alright, so we're gonna do this.
This one.
Right here. Wait. You gotta remember to. There's a lot of buffs. Up here. Here, and then we'll just go ahead and crowd control one of these guys. So everybody will have ult now. No, not everybody.
Metaphor?
Light as tumbled.
Okay, so we're going to. So we still have the song buff. We're gonna ult, and it's gonna be upgraded to give us the additional damage, right? And then we're gonna go ahead and use Marcus's ult. I'm going to merge this card while we still have the crit buff,
Are we really doing this?
so we can get the extra. We'll have quite a bit of XP from that as well. We might be able to do ult back to back, maybe, if I calculated everything right.
And now it's easier to understand.
And we'll get the extra card as well. Oh, actually, it refreshed it. Yeah, so it refreshes the buff, actually, of the crit. So it gives you a longer period of time to where you have it for 2 turns. If you ult while you have it, it'll give you an extra turn. So it helps out. And then we were 1 short on Moxie, but we have this card here that we can give to her to get the extra. We'll actually just give it to our little homie August so it's not wasted. And we're gonna go ahead and ult with Druvis, and then attack with Marcus. And well, actually we can do something even better. So I'm gonna give this here. We can give Druvis extra while she ults, and then do an attack.
Or this one.
So now we can make Druvis pretty much a crit character, right?
Spinning round and round.
While she's attacking. Now it does take it away from Marcus, right? So it doesn't buff up 2 characters. If you see here, it went away. So you can only keep one person buffed at a time.
No mistakes.
So that is where you really want a hyper carry sort of situation. And I can show it to you again if you missed it. So you see the song here. We're going to buff Marcus now. And then we'll use the ults.
Or this one.
So you see that? You see how it moves over? Have you seen it? So you really can only buff up that one person. So be mindful of that if you're trying to put multiple DPS characters on a team together. She won't be able to buff them up. And I think that's the way they had to kind of balance her in a way. Right? But this is pretty much how she works. I love August. August also gives Rousey morale, but I wasn't trying to kill the monsters. That's why I did his ult the way I did it. But he also gives Rousey morale. So he's a pretty good character, all things considered. Just, again, using his attack will give you an extra attack buff, which is really strong for a 5-star character. Just simply one extra attack while having everything. 41k crit from Marcus, which is huge.
Keep going for our
So,
dream, comrade.
and we didn't take a lot of damage, so we didn't need a lot of healing. But, you know, she's able to passively heal. Marcus did a lot. And we had a lot of, you know, high-level cards, ults and stuff like that. But that's pretty much how they work. We're still waiting on harder content, though, to really put her in. There's not much, and the Limbo only lets you use 3-man teams. So I want to find more to put her in. To Portraits, I'll probably get like maybe P1 if I got lucky. P3, I lost the 50-50 on her after I ended stream to Ann and Lee, so now Ann and Lee's P3. But so I could either, it depends on how I feel about her. Once we get into harder content, if I really love her, I'll put a portrait on her. If I don't, then I'll, you know, save it for Windsong. But we're gonna be testing her at P0 for when the raids come out, so don't worry about that. We'll test her on all the raids at P0. The portrait won't happen until after the patch, so that way you guys can see her at P0. But anyways, please let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this kit. What do you guys think about August, Vila? How do you feel about the patch? This patch is shorter, so I'll be able to cover everything a lot quicker. And feel free to ask me any questions that you have about her. And I'll try to test as many mental damage characters as I have. I'm trying to work on leveling a lot of people up. It's just hard with resources being limited. But just let me know. Please like the video if you enjoyed the video, and sub to the channel if you guys want more R99 content. Anyways, I'm gonna go and get out of here. You lucky gamers, have a good one. Lights out.